We are NNPC and external auditors are here because of discrepancies that we have discovered from their audited financial statement, which is in the public domain already. The figure of the accrued expenses are 103 trillion, while the figure of the receivables is 107 trillion. So in total, figure-wise, you are talking 210 trillion naira.
Personally, I need to understand that as CEO, I need to understand these issues myself so that I can ensure appropriate representations whenever we have to appear before you.
Mr. Chairman, there was a time somebody said, a helpless person in government, that Nigeria has become the parastatal of NNPC. NNPC is the country. Yes. Because they do whatever they do, they withdraw fuel where they want to withdraw, they hack up where they want to hack up. That's of Dangote, those abuses and arrogance are now moderated, and you are now more humble in dealing with your mandate. For me, sir, I think it is wrong of him to request that we should join him to help him do his work. We are not auditors.
Nigeria, the giant of Africa, a country sitting on vast reserve of crude oil, the livelihood of the modern world. Yet, despite decades of oil exploration, billions of dollars in revenue, and promises of transformation, ordinary Nigerians live with poverty, unemployment, and broken infrastructure. This is the paradox that defines Nigeria, a rich nation filled with poor citizens. At the center of this paradox lies one institution, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, better known as NNPCL. Once envisioned as the crown jewel of Nigeria's economy, the NNPCL has instead become synonymous with corruption, mismanagement, and betrayal. In this documentary, we uncover how decades of shady deals, subsidy frauds, and oil theft has robbed Nigerians of their future. From its origin to its present rebranding, the story of NNPCL is the story of how oil became a curse rather than a blessing to Nigeria. Oil was supposed to change Nigerians' destiny. When crude was first discovered in Olobiri, Bayelsa State in 1956, Nigerians believed that the resource would transform their lives. Roads would be built, schools founded, hospitals equipped, and industries established. But instead of prosperity, oil became the foundation of greed. Today, Nigeria remains Africa's top oil producer, pumping an average of 1.3 to 1.5 million barrels per day. In dollar terms, this translates into tens of billions of dollars annually. But here is the reality. When the oil flows, Nigerians suffer. Over 133 million Nigerians live in multi-dimensional poverty. Electricity remains unreliable. Roads are death traps, and youth unemployment continues to rise. So, the big question is, where did all the money go? The answer lies in the structure that manages the oil sector, the NNPCL. From inception, Nigerians' oil wealth became a tool for the elite instead of serving as a driver for development. Oil revenue was captured by politicians, generals, and business cronies. The NNPCL was at the center of this capture. By the 1980s, Nigeria had earned hundreds of billions from crude, yet there was little to show for it. By the 1990s, the corruption had become institutionalized, and by the 2000s, oil wealth had become Nigeria's biggest costs. The paradox is this: oil should have built Nigeria into a modern powerhouse, yet it has locked the nation in a circle of poverty. The NNPCL became the vehicle through which this paradox was sustained. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation was established in 1977, merging the Nigerian National Oil Corporation with the Federal Ministry of Petroleum. The idea was simple: create a government-owned body that would control exploration, production, and revenue management of crude oil. On paper, this was brilliant. In practice, it became Nigeria's biggest financial black hole. The NNPC soon gained the nickname of government within a government. It was too powerful to be audited properly, too influential to be checked by the legislature, and too politically useful to be reformed. Every regime, military or civilian, used the NNPC as a political ATM. Former central bank governor Sanusi Lamido Sanusi once revealed that over $20 billion in oil revenues were missing. Under NNPC accounts, audits conducted by the Nigerian Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative repeatedly flagged discrepancies worth billions, yet nothing happened. Instead, successive administrations shielded the corporation from accountability. In 2021, the Petroleum Industry Act transformed NNPC into NNPCL, a limited liability company. The government promised that the rebranded company would run more transparently, free from political interference. But Nigerians quickly realized a new name does not erase old structure. The DNA of corruption remained. When Nigerians talk about corruption in the oil sector, three scandals dominate the conversation: fuel subsidies, oil theft, and swap deals. Let's start with the subsidy fraud. Fuel subsidies were introduced to cushion Nigerians from high petroleum prices, but instead they became one of the greatest heists in history. Importers inflated invoices, demanded payment for fuel never delivered, and colluded with officials to loot billions. Ghost companies, some registered only on paper, collected subsidy payments. In 2011 alone, Nigeria spent over 2 trillion naira on subsidies, much of it fraudulent. Ordinary Nigerians still queue for hours at petrol stations. The 2012 Occupy Nigerian protests were sparked by the government attempt to remove subsidies, but at the core, it was a revolt against systematic corruption. Now to the second one, oil theft. Nigeria loses between 200,000 to 400,000 barrels of oil per day to theft. This is not petty theft by villagers. It is an organized crime involving insiders in NNPCL, politicians, security agencies, and international cartels. Tankers are loaded illegally, pipelines tapped secretly, and crude disappears before it is even recorded. The scale of theft is so vast that in some years, Nigeria's official oil revenue fell by half. Now to the third one, the swap deals. Another scandal was the oil for product swap agreement. Instead of selling crude directly, Nigeria traded oil for refined petroleum products. On paper, this solved the problem of local refining. In reality, it opened doors for corruption. Companies received more crude than the product they delivered, and billions were lost through inflated contracts. Investigations revealed that many deals were shrouded in secrecy, with terms unfavorable to Nigeria. In all these scandals, one truth remains: while officials and their foreign partners got rich, Nigerians got poorer. Corruption in NNPCL is not just about figures on a balance sheet, it is about the real impact on Nigerians. Let's look at some of the impacts. First, it is poverty and unemployment. Despite earning over $1 trillion from oil exports since the 1970s, Nigeria ranks among the poorest nations in the world. Millions of graduates remain jobless. Industries that should have built with oil money never materialized. Instead, Nigeria imports almost everything from refined crude to basic goods. Now to the second part: broken infrastructure. Oil wealth should have given Nigeria world-class infrastructure. Instead, most highways are riddled with potholes, and rail projects remain incomplete. Power supply is unreliable, forcing businesses to rely on expensive generators. The health sector is so broken that even top politicians travel abroad for medical treatment. Mounting debt at number 3. Despite massive oil earnings, Nigeria continues to borrow heavily. As of 2025, Nigeria's public debt is over 1 trillion naira. Servicing this debt consumes a huge portion of government revenue. leaving little for development. Ironically, much of these debts were incurred while oil revenues were being siphoned away. Let's talk about insecurity at number 3. The corruption in NNPCL has also fueled insecurity in oil-rich Niger Delta. Decades of environmental degradation, lack of development gave rise to militancy. Groups like MED and even the Niger Delta Avengers targeted oil infrastructure, leading to instability. Meanwhile, across the country, poverty, unemployment fueled circles of crime, terrorism and banditry. At the heart of it all is a betrayal. The oil money that should have lifted Nigerians out of poverty has instead deepened the suffering. The question now is, can Nigeria ever break free from this circle? The rebranding of NNPC to NNPCL was meant to usher in transparency, but skepticism remains high. Many believe that the company is still a tool for political patronage. Audits continue to expose gaps. Subsidy removal, though painful, is seen as a step towards reform, but the real issue lies deeper, and the culture of corruption that has been built over decades. For Nigeria to truly benefit from its oil wealth, it must, number 1, ensure full transparency in NNPCL's operations. All revenues must be publicly accounted for. 2, end the culture of impunity. Those who stole billions must face justice. 3, diversify the economy. Nigeria cannot continue to remain dependent on oil. 4, invest in refining capacity. So long as Nigeria imports fuel, it remains vulnerable to fraud. So here is the hard truth. Corruption in NNPCL is not just about the company. It is about Nigerians' governance as a whole. Unless the political elite is willing to sacrifice personal gains for national interests, nothing definitely will change. The story of NNPCL is the story of Nigerians' tragedy. Oil wealth became a curse because leaders chose corruption over nation building. From missing billions to subsidy scandals, from oil theft to swap deals, the people have been betrayed. Every missing dollar is a school not built. Every stolen barrel is a hospital without medicine. Every secret contract is a road left undone, and every fraudulent subsidy payment is a young Nigerian forced to seek hope abroad. The question is, will Nigeria continue down this path of waste and corruption, or will it finally confront the monster within NNPCL and reclaim its destiny? The future of over 200 million Nigerians depends on this answer. So we ask, what do you think? Can Nigeria ever clean up NNPCL and truly benefit from its oil wealth? Or is corruption too deeply rooted? Share your thoughts in the comment. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more political documentaries that expose the truths beyond the headlines. This is Frank Specs saying thank you for watching this video.